Guys, I wanted to tell you how to manipulate a manipulator. You know those people who think they are so smart, they are smarter than everyone. I want to teach you how to beat them at their own game. Oh, we have such lovely weather today. Was machst du? Ist es kalt für dich? Na bitte, so warm.
Schau, du bist eine afrikanische Frau. Immer heiß. Oh, schau.
My friend is freezing. I'm not sure why, because for me it's pretty hot. It's actually kind of hot for me. I don't know what's happening. So, jetzt können wir eine Getränke bestellt und dann essen. Hallo.
Hallo.
Ta, 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 ra, ta, ta. Zucker ist sowieso nicht gesund. It started raining even though it's supposed to be the summertime. We're not having a very good year. Oder wir können einfach so machen. Schau. Und einfach so machen. Hand. Genug. So machen. It's one of the hottest months in Austria, but always raining. This is why I don't understand the people with sweaters on. I think at this point it's a psychological thing. They think if it rains you have to have a sweater on. No, you don't. It's hot. This is the Asian restaurant that we came to, and we are just waiting for our food. This is crazy. This is very crazy. It's drizzling, raining, but very hot. I don't even understand. Summer 2025 is a catastrophe. Yosh, come. My friend is rushing me now because it started to rain a little bit more. Guys, the reason why I keep blocking my friend from being in my videos, the reason why every time she tries to make an appearance in my video, I block her or I just turn the camera away, is because this is too much information and I should probably keep it private, but what the heck, I'm going to say it. Besides, only 3 people watch me, so I should be okay, I should be safe. She's dating a Muslim guy. He is white like her, but he's a Muslim. Now, if you're confused thinking, how is a white guy a Muslim? Because that's not very, that is rare. It's because he's originally from a part of Eastern Europe where the Ottoman Empire was, the history of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans came all the way to Vienna. They were almost in Vienna. Even Austrians could have been Muslims. They nearly conquered half of Europe. Oh my gosh. And so some of the white folks in Eastern Europe, especially in former Yugoslavia, they are Muslims, even though they are white. So her man is white and as snow, but a Muslim man, and he's kind of conservative. So there was a time he kind of ticked me off because we were dancing and I posted that video on Instagram, and then I didn't like the comments that, you know, he made. He was like that she was dressed like me, I guess me the hoe, or I don't know what. I'm a married woman. My man is an Austrian. He doesn't mind whatever I wear, whatever I post. He doesn't care because, you know, his culture is a little bit more permissive. But you know how, you know, Muslim men are like. So since that day, since he was like, oh, ich hab dich gesehen mit Elisabeth und blah, blah, blah. Like he was just talking in German, saying how she told me that he was complaining. We were wearing very revealing clothes and dancing on Instagram live, and he didn't appreciate that. I was like, please, please, I don't need y'all's drama. But I love her very much, my good friend. I like her very much. I like hanging out with her. But I told her, I don't need you in my videos because I don't need any drama with that Muslim guy. Generally, he's a good guy. You know, people are just different. Some people don't appreciate, you know, when girls are shaking their badonka, donka, donka on the internet. We were not even that, you know, we didn't have like bikinis or anything. We just had like short skirts. I had a short like the one I have today, not very revealing, but he was like complaining, Yamaren. In German we say Yamaren, yara, yara, yara. And so I was like, okay, don't make an appearance on my videos because I don't need the heat from that Muslim man. Yes, and no disrespect to anybody who's conservative or a Muslim. You have a right to say what you don't like, okay? I'm just happy to be back home because it started raining. Again, it's very confusing. It's raining, but it's so hot, right? And yeah, I don't know. I hope I don't get sick because when the weather is playing games like that, you just never know. Anyways, I need to call my own man because he told me to call him when I get home. So let me do that. when the weather is awful like it is this year. It's still raining. It's almost August, so you're left to wonder, did summer get cancelled this year? We are almost in August and it's raining every single day. Anyways, you know me. I never let anything bring me down. I remain positive and optimistic. This is why I exercise in the house. I dance. I call up my friends. I might even go outside. Like, I don't care that it's raining cats and dogs, but I kinda do though, because summer is supposed to be summering, right? It's supposed to be sunny and nice, and this is what we get, 2025. Who cancelled summer? Them white people be funny like that. You cancelled summer on the rest of us. For everybody. No summer. Keine Sommer dieses Jahr. Fertig. Aus. Keine Sommer. Guys, I wanted to tell you how to manipulate a manipulator. You know those people who think they are so smart, they are smarter than everyone? I want to teach you how to beat them at their own game. I am actually, unfortunately, talking from experience. I have been manipulated in the past, like all the way back to like my childhood. I grew up in a home where psychological torture was the order of the day. Psychological warfare raised by wolves. Somebody say, ow! When you are raised in a house where people are manipulative, or your caregiver or parent is highly manipulative, you learn certain things. I have said that in a past video. And once you get out to the world, once you start dating, unfortunately, you find yourself being attracted to what is familiar. You sort of like, this is why you see women who watched their mom or their aunt or their stepmom or whoever it was at home getting beat up by their dads or their uncles or whoever it was. They end up in abusive relationships as well. So if you were in like an emotionally abusive house, unfortunately, you end up with emotionally abusive boyfriends, which was the case in my earlier years, in my 20s. Now I know better, because with time you are going to learn things, you are going to be smarter and more intelligent, and hopefully I can share with you one or two things that could help you hasten that process of being smarter, and hopefully you don't have to go through some of the stuff that some of us had to go through just to learn, okay? If you've been emotionally manipulated, abused, you've been with people who are narcissistic, I want to show you how to counter manipulate them. This method works, and let me just first of all say that I do not advocate for any type of emotional abuse. Do not do it to innocent people who've not done anything wrong to you. However, I'm a BITCH, or at least I can be, and when somebody thinks they can manipulate me, I have no problem playing that game. I have no problem manipulating them back. It's what we do. I came from a home where I was raised by literal wolves. Oh! Yes, you're looking at a baby wolf. Like, from the time I could talk, the game was on, and it's sad. It's actually very sad if you think about it. Like, oh, it is sad, because no kid deserves to be in a home where there's a lot of psychological warfare, emotional abuse from people who have issues, people who've not sorted their own issues out. Some of them were just plain evil. Others, they were just, victims of circumstances. They also didn't grow up very healthy as far as, their emotional well-being and their mental well-being goes. So they ended up just practicing what they learned from their own homes. So some are just like victims of circumstances where I come from. Others are plain evil. Like, there are people in my family who I can just tell you that is an evil person, like a bad seed. So once you grow up in such an environment, you do get to learn a lot of things. Hopefully the things that I learned, I can share on this channel. I told you I'm looking to create a community of thinkers, and hopefully it can help you equip yourself, especially if you're a young lady, so you see it coming, so you don't get hurt by people just because maybe you came from a safe home where you were protected, you were sheltered, you don't know this stuff, you're not necessarily naive, maybe you're more like innocent, and therefore you could be vulnerable to a lot of wolves. And the world has a lot of them. I am telling you, I am a baby wolf, not by choice, but by circumstance. Like, I was just made into a wolf from the time I was young. You are looking at a baby wolf. I am telling you the things that I have seen, and I'm only 35, but like I'm talking about a kid who lost their mom when they were 3. I didn't grow up with a mom. I grew up with a dad who was a playboy, a player. He had, I think, 1,636 girlfriends by the time I was 20. Like, the guy was able to get women to like him, a lot of them, and there was a lot of drama in my home. And also, some of my siblings are also not very mentally well, so you just grow up in an environment where you're always ready because you're surrounded by wolves. Ow! So I think that the thing that saved me, and I came out the other end of the tunnel stronger and able to like talk about it and have a lot of just feelings of wanting to help a woman like myself who might be in a circumstance, especially a younger lady, where they are being emotionally manipulated. I think the thing that assisted me a lot was God, like just a strong belief in God, Jesus Christ, and just praying and wanting it to end with me, wanting to just rewrite my story and just to be, different. And I'm okay being the black sheep of my family, just thinking differently, acting differently, not thinking of myself as a victim. That came from God. And that's the reason why when I say that I am creating a community of thinkers, I know I joke a lot, I play a lot, I laugh a lot, but there's some seriousness in it where I really, really, really hope that one person could watch this and be, empowered. Let it not only be about games and entertainment, but also empowerment, right? So, when you notice that a guy who you are dating is manipulating you, and I have actually mentioned this in a past video, but now I will expound a little more. When you notice that you're dating a guy and he is manipulating you, he's playing around with your mind, he is emotionally abusing you, he is narcissistic or whatever he might be, but you just notice something is off with this guy, the worst mistake you could make is to tell him off. Immediately you notice it. Like, do not do that. If you want to win this game, let me teach you a strategy that has worked for me. Do not call them out on their BS immediately. Do not, especially if you don't have, maybe you're a woman who is still looking for a job, you don't have any place to go, or maybe you have a baby with him, your family is not really supporting you, and like you're in a situation where you still need him for whatever reason, or you're pregnant or whatever. Do not call it out immediately. Wait, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. If you want to counter manipulate and win, you have to be very patient. Once you notice it that you are trying to play around with my mind, you are trying to manipulate me, you are trying to emotionally abuse me, act stupid. Yes, you had me right. Act like he is so intelligent, he is so smart, you are so dumb, you could never figure it out. Whatever he's doing is working. Give him that impression. Give him the impression that he is winning. And then, Before I tell you what you do next, let me explain something here in the middle. So first you give him the impression that he is winning, and then there is a step 2 after a period of time. But right here in the middle, let me tell you something. Abusive people, especially narcissistic people, do not like to be put in their place. They do not operate in truth. A lot of them are just liars, okay? They don't have depth. They are shallow people, okay? They are arrogant, and that is their weakness. Their arrogance is their undoing. Listen to me. I know these things. I am telling you, I grew up around wolves. Arrogant people are, by nature of them being arrogant, weak. They just don't know it yet. They don't know it because their arrogance does not allow them to know it. They don't have the humility of like a normal person. They are people who can never apologize. They are people who are never wrong. I am telling you, I got raised by somebody who was never wrong. It was never his fault. And then when I ended up dating similar people, because again, unfortunately, if you grow up in an emotionally abusive environment, you end up dating in the beginning, after you leave home, emotionally abusive guys, because you're just looking for what is familiar. Maybe a psychologist can explain it better, but that's the pattern that I have personally seen. Now, they don't like to be called out. They don't like to admit when they are wrong. They are not very strong to accept criticism. They put up a front as though they are very strong, but they are not. This is why sometimes when you tell them what they did wrong, they turn violent. They immediately like start to fight, because it's like you have distorted that perfect image that they are putting out there of themselves. It's narcissism, you know. Now, I don't have a degree in psychology, so none of this is medical advice. And if you need that, there are videos done by psychiatrists. I am just talking from my experience. Now, this arrogance that they display, whether they are covert or overt in your face, cannot allow them to accept when they are wrong. Therefore, when you call them out, you have created an enemy. If you catch your boyfriend cheating, he will blame you for catching him. Yes, that's how they are. He will be like, why are you even here in the first place? Did you follow me? Did you stalk me? They turn it around on you, and it will be your fault somehow. And they are good at that. They will gaslight you like crazy. You will be left questioning your own reality, thinking like, am I the crazy one? Am I the bad one? Am I the emotionally abusive one? They will do that to you because for the most part, they are not good people. Like I said, some of them, it's a sad case. Their circumstances, maybe they themselves did not grow up in healthy environments. And some of them are plain evil, okay? So when you catch them, even if you catch them with blood in their hands and you see that they are the ones who committed that crime, they will blame the victim. They will be like, oh, that person provoked me. They can never be wrong. So you need to realize that if you call them out, you have created a great enemy, and you don't want to be their enemy, especially if you need them, because they can be dangerous. These people are sociopathic, psychopathic, they can be dangerous. So, because they cannot accept when they're wrong, if you stop to call them out and be like, you are cheating, I saw the message, and then they will hit you. They will hit you. It will even turn violent. They can lock you up in the house. They can do all sorts of crazy ass things because they're not healthy upstairs. What you do is that you don't catch them. You don't let them catch you, in quotes, catch you catching them. Because if they are cheating, let me just slow it down for you. If they are cheating, why have you caught them cheating? So now they've caught you. That's how their minds work. Like, I've caught you catching me. Why were you following me? Why were you reading my texts? Why did you know that I was cheating? They are like that. They are like that. It's never their fault. They are perfect and it's never their fault. So, you don't want them to catch you catching them, okay? However, if you want to play their game and win, you have to play the long game. At this point, let me just pause the video to say that do not employ any manipulation tactics on anyone who is innocent or anyone who is not well themselves and they have admitted that they are not well and they are willing to get help. Don't use these tactics on them. And you really don't have to play their game. You can just decide to walk away. But some of us, when we encounter someone who thinks they can manipulate us, like me, for instance, knowing how I grew up and the people I grew up around, and knowing who taught me what I know, I am like, let me just have a little fun with this person. So for me, I do it just because I don't know, I can be a bitch. So I'm just having fun sometimes. And it's what I know since I was a child. Like a baby wolf, just practicing what I know from home, right from home. They say charity begins at home. So sometimes I just do it for a laugh, just so I can have fun and just play a game. But don't do it if you don't have to or if you feel unsafe. Do not put yourself in danger, right? Like I said, you don't have to play their game. You can walk away, and do not do it on people who don't deserve it. But if you're like me and you don't mind playing a little game with somebody who thinks that they can manipulate you and you want to practice being a master manipulator, rock and roll, baby, play along. With these people, you cannot play short. You cannot call them out, make them, pay for what they did like that, deal with it there and then, because they are not accountable. You can only play the short game with somebody who is accountable, okay? If you know there's somebody who has funny characters, but at least they're accountable, at least they're not a narcissist, but they are, they are mean-spirited or funny, you can call them out on the spot. Make them take accountability. Show them the facts. Expose them to people, and it'll be fine. But with these other people, these emotionally abusive people and narcissistic people, the wolves, with these ones, you cannot play that short game. You cannot do the whole calling them out, catching them, blasting them, putting them on blast. They will harm you, especially if you need something from them. They turn dangerous, very dangerous, very dangerous. They will hurt you or hurt the people who you love. They will beat you up. They will follow you. They could attack you. They could pay somebody to attack you. They do not take accountability. You're dealing with sociopaths and psychopaths, so you need to be aware of that. With these people, if you want to win, you play the long game, not the short game. Always the long game with these people. So this is what you do, and this is what I did to an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I won in his face, and I had the last laugh, and it was later, alligator. I was so happy to put him down because he was highly emotionally abusive, and he didn't know that he was dealing with a baby wolf in sheepskin. Ow! I was raised by bloody wolves. Who the hell did he think he could manipulate? So, what you do, now that I've explained the middle part, remember there was step 1 where you pretend you haven't noticed, and you have got to pretend like they're so smart, they're so manipulative, you are so dumb, you're so stupid, you do not notice anything because you're just like that, you're just naive. You have to play that game. And I've explained how they are. Now on to step 2. You call them out on small and important things. Why, you might wonder? 1, to distract them, and 2, because these very tiny things make them still think that they are in a position of power, that, you just noticed the small things, you just noticed a text, but you don't really know that he actually has a whole other family away from you. He actually got that girl pregnant. So they still think you're stupid. So let's say his name is Tom, just an example. So you're like, Tom, I saw a message and I think I don't appreciate that you're texting other women. He's still thinking, if only you knew that I even got her pregnant. You're complaining about a text. You see, for them, it's all about power. So you make them think that they're still, in charge and still have power over you. In the meantime, you know about his other family. You know that he got a girl pregnant. You know it. But you pretend that you only know the small things. So you keep on catching him in small and important details. Small things that are not the gist of the bigger things that he is doing. And just to add some information, if you remember earlier on, I said that they don't like to be caught because they turn it around on you, and now they blame you for catching them. Like you don't want them to catch you catching them. But if you play it right, where you are catching them on small things where they still think they're in a position of power, little things that they can lie to you about and still think that you are so dumb you're not figuring it out. You don't know the bigger secrets. You don't know where the skeletons really are hidden. If you do that, you're feeding their ego. So you slowly feed their ego, making them think that they are always in charge. You're too slow. You're always one step behind. In the meantime, you're like 5 steps ahead, right? But play it right, and they will be distracted with these little fires that you are starting, these little battles. They will be too busy basking in the sun of their own ego to even notice that actually you're an army general who is preparing for a much bigger war. Why? Because you're distracting him. That is the main goal. That is what I was doing. I was distracting the idiot who thought that I am the idiot, but I was distracting him. So you keep them on their toes, thinking that they are still outsmarting you, right? And the reason why you call them out on little things here and there, small things that don't matter, like, hey, you told me that you went to the post office and that you got my mail, but turns out you didn't even go. Our bills have not been paid. Like small and important. They're not unimportant per se, but you get what I mean. They're not the bigger things that they're doing, the bigger psychopathic things that they're doing behind your back, which you know about, but you're pretending like you don't know about, right? If they're like, I don't know, robbing their place of work and they have stolen millions and you know about it, pretend like you don't even know about it. They're getting women pregnant out there and pretending to be, pretend that you're only concerned about the electricity bill that they didn't pay on time, the text that you saw. Pretend like you're focusing only on the smaller things, right? This does 2 things. One, they're not going to explode on you because they still think they're in a position of power. If you call them out on the bigger things like, oh, you think I don't know that you robbed millions from your employer? You think I don't know that you have 2 families? You have women out there that are pregnant? If you call them out on the big things, they will hit you. They will deal with you. These people are dangerous. They cannot say sorry. They cannot take accountability. They will look at you as a threat. They might think you might go to the police. They could bury you, right? So you don't call them out on the bigger things. Remember, you're dealing with people who are highly narcissistic. They still have to maintain that image of perfection. Like I grew up in a place where in the home, somebody was just, the person was known out there to be very good and helpful and giving to society and to the community and la 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 la. But in the house, we knew the wolf. We knew the true colors of this narcissistic individual. So these things, again, you learn them from home. I learned them from home, from like an early age. So when you employ this tactic that I'm sharing with you right now, you're doing 2 things. You are not letting them explode on you, okay? But because you're calling them out on things that are smaller compared to what they're really doing, right? And number 2, you're distracting them. Why, you might wonder? Why should you distract this person? I'll tell you why. You distract them with little battles, okay? They are there focused on the little battles. They are there focused on the little battles that you're starting, thinking that they still have the game. They're still, very much smarter than you. So all their attention is there. Their energy is on putting out the little fires that you're starting here and there. Their focus. In the meantime, as this army general, is on this one camp, fighting out these little battles that are surrounding this one camp. You are sending out armies all around him. You are secretly creating battles all around him. You are just arming your soldiers, okay? You are employing tactics. You are gathering evidence. Let's say you're a married couple and you know that he is cheating. You have a private eye. You have somebody following him. You have the pictures. You have the tapes. You have the videos. You have the recordings. You have the journals. You have the hotel receipts. You are gathering armies all around him. He is too distracted to notice because he is busy putting out the smaller battles. That is what I did to my ex. He was busy thinking that I don't know anything. I am dumb. I don't even know what he's really doing. So I would catch him. I would let him catch me. Again, remember, it's never their fault. I would let him catch me catching him, okay? So he would think, ha, she saw a text. I'll deal with her. He thought he's, moving around pieces on this chessboard. He didn't know I was distracting him. These are only little breadcrumbs that I was throwing at him. In the meantime, I was doing other things all around him because my goal was to win the bigger war. He was winning these small, unimportant battles. I was putting up a war front that by the time he looked up, he was surrounded. Army General, you are surrounded. Bend the knee, surrender, and you will live with some of your dignity still intact. If you don't obey, I am living with your head. That's how you get them. Surrender. By the time I came out there on my horse with my horseman and went like, what's up? What's good? It was too late for him. That is how you manipulate a person who thinks they are a master manipulator. You play the long game. Never play the short game with these people. So if it's at home, maybe you have a guardian who is manipulative, a parent who is manipulative. Play the long game. Let them finish paying your school fee. Don't go out there and start looking for college money for yourself, because why should you work and, go to school if your parent is already paying for that? If you're not in immediate threat, obviously, if you're in immediate threat, you feel like your life is threatened, you have to get out of that toxic home. But if you know that there's something you're going to get out of that home that is bigger than their little stupid games, that is bigger than their disease or whatever it is that disturbs these people, then you have to play the long game. Don't engage in arguments with your guardian or parent that are only going to make you lose the longer game. Be focused, like pray, let God be your guide and your guard and your shield. Take care of your mental health secretly. Just read like motivational stuff. Go to church if they allow you to go to church. Just act the part until you get what you want. Once you get that college diploma or degree or PhD or whatever it is they are paying for, you're out of there. You're making your own life great. They can't touch you, right? You have to play the long game with these people. Don't be engaging in fights in the house with them. Don't be like calling them out, asking them to be accountable. They will never be accountable. So you have to know how to deal with these people. If they are manipulating you, you have to be able to notice it, and you have to know how to counter manipulate them, but in the long run. And in a twisted way, you're actually in some kind of advantage in quotes, because you're learning from the best. If you're raised by such people from the time you're a baby, you already have enough practice, so you should be fine. Not the short game. You see, when I was a little girl who was just, a sheep, doesn't know anything, and then I was surrounded by these manipulative, narcissistic, sociopathic people, I learned without planning to learn. You learn because you start to see how they move. And they converted me into a little wolf, and they didn't know. They didn't know that the little girl, you have made her like you. Only that because she prays and because she wants to do better, she's going to use that for good and not to, hurt other people. That is why at the top of this video, I have just told you that don't use it on, innocent people who don't deserve it, people who are not harming you in any way, shape, or form. Let it end with you. But if you're a bitch like me and you are with somebody who is irritating you and ticking you off because they think they can manipulate you, use it on them. Those people who are evil, who want to hurt other people, if you want to fight them back, that's how you fight them back, with the long game. Always the long game. Don't play a short game with these people, because you also have to be safe and protect yourself, right? But for like innocent people who are well-intended, people who have, mistakes, just like normal people would make mistakes, but they're willing to apologize, don't do that to them, right? Because they don't deserve it, and they've not harmed you in any serious way or intentional way. If you've made it this far, food for thought for you. I told you I'm creating a community of thinkers. It's still raining outside, but I think I'll call up my girl and maybe we can go out and have some dinner.